Hello. We're going to go over my art process. Well, before I start anything, finding out how to even start what your art process is a lot harder than you think. This is mostly because, it's hard finding out how you do your process in the first place. And then you have to explain things like your mindset, your materials. A lot of it's just intuitive. So how do you explain something like that? Right, so with most things, you should probably just start off simple. Like, a simple part of this is probably materials. Okay, probably one of the most important materials that I have is my Albinus on Anatomy. This book saved every single portrait that I did. This thing has basically skeletal system, muscles, bones, nerves, and basically you just go over it. It's extremely helpful. It's mostly meant for just basic anatomy and very detail-oriented versions of it. Although, I'm not extremely detailed, but this helped me so much with trying to just kind of give the idea of a person, right? Beneath it, I use gouache for all of my paintings. Again, you're probably not going to be able to get the same kind of colors or things as I do, mostly because I'm colorblind, and my choices in colors are very strange. Supposedly, I don't know. They seem pretty normal to me, but supposedly they're strange, right? Van Gogh style, I've heard said, whatever. But other than that, that's probably the two most important materials that you would need to know. Okay, well, after that, we have my influences, which are who the people I look up to the most. And out of all the artists that I know, I may feel like I'm just choosing the greats, but Van Gogh is probably my biggest inspiration. He has a very similar style to me. He's colorblind as well. He's got those colors. I mean, to me, he just looks like very approachable person for me. Like, he looks kind of like me, It's like when you look at your older brother and it's like, hey, he looks like me. And you can just feel that connection. So you're inspired by him, right? So I'm inspired mostly by Van Gogh. And then for portraits, you can see I have the Renaissance style. That came mostly from Andrea del Sarto, which was, I had a art book of Andrea del Sarto's sketches in red chalk of Conti crayon, which is the medium that I mostly use for portraits and stuff like that. And so I just drew a ton of her stuff, and I got to where I am now. Kathleen Staples is another one, but she's literally my art teacher, like kind of a private tutor thing. So all my abstract stuff, I would suggest you look into her stuff first, Kathleen Staples. Okay, second part, this is probably one of the more easy ones. Where do I get my references? Simple, straightforward. I get them from Pinterest. Almost everybody does. It doesn't matter that much. I don't know, you can find a board of drawing references. I'll leave a link down below to my Pinterest account. Go check out my drawing board. Okay, now I need to go over what is the meat of my process. How do I start a painting and how do I end it? I've kind of gone over what materials I use, blah, 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 blah. What do I do to start it off? What do I need to be able to do my art style, basically? Now, how do I take those things and use them in the way that I'm using in my paintings? This part's probably going to be the most confusing, to be completely honest. I'm left with the dilemma, how do I explain something that is intuitive? Well, I mean, I guess there's no other way than to just show me painting something, right? My thought process and just saying what I'm thinking about what I'm painting. Okay, so I'm just going to send you into a time lapse of me painting tomorrow, and I'm gonna show you all of the thoughts that I have during it. I'm gonna keep a journal beside me, and I'm going to write down everything that I'm thinking while I'm painting it. I'll leave the reference link in the description below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so, basically the next day, I'm gonna start, and basic explanation and run through of myself. I've got water over to the side, usually. Wash over here, brushes, easel, and after that, I literally just need to find a reference. Okay, so, as you know, I'm not going to be able to explain the full lengths of my style, because I don't even know the full lengths of my style. I don't even have much of any restrictions on how I paint. This is literally just what seems best to me, right? You know, color blindness, whatever. However, I'm going to explain to you what I've studied the most of, and, like, how my thought process is for it. And of course, there's a lot of compositional stuff and a little bit of color theory as well. Okay, here's the final product. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. A lot of the times I'll paint something that I just don't like for some reason. A lot of people do. Eventually I end up liking it. Sometimes I don't. However, I'll walk you through how this painting works. I don't know, I just don't like it very much. Okay, so to start off, the way that I began this painting was by blocking out the basic background color. A lot of times you can figure those out, but like with Van Gogh, you can think of Starry Night. What did he start out with as his back canvas? He painted the back part black, right? And he added his highlights on top, which allowed the highlights to stick through. On this one, I did a light background of like a light shade of blue, and then I did the foreground. Usually I go sky, ground, and then I do ground objects, sky, do the ground objects again, and then details. I will also do with lighting, however, that's more of an eye thing. I can't really explain that. Another thing you'll notice inside of my paintings is the kind of minimalism. I don't, really just because of my medium, I'm kind of constrained with details, in which with gouache, you can't really do that much details. I mean, I've seen people do details, I just don't really know how to do it very well. Like with drawing, I can do details extremely well. But I don't know, I've just felt like being able to block out the structures and the colors, and especially just the mood and atmosphere, is a lot more important than just those tiny little details. Because then again, you're able to produce things faster, you're able to produce things that are just altogether a lot more dramatic if you focus on the mood instead of the details. The only thing that I've seen people argue over, which is either mood or anatomy, and both are important. I don't really see why there's much of a discussion for which one to learn, because anatomy is extremely important, and I love learning anatomy. It's amazing practice to have, and it's great for when you actually draw. At the end of this segment, I'm gonna show you some pretty cool shots of it real quick, but the next part I'm actually going to talk to you about is about the reasoning of light. So for a lot of paintings, people just kind of add like a lot of interesting light sources from different areas. However, they don't actually do them extremely well. And although they have that, and it may look kind of good, a lot of the times you just need like a singular light source or something pretty easy to define. Like with this book, I literally just have the light from my window right over here hitting this book. And if I just go around, change the composition a little bit, which is what I'll be talking about next, you can actually get some really interesting lighting. There we go, half of my hand's in light, the other half's in dark. You see the side of the book. You could do that. Now, if you're able to do this well, your painting's basically set. You almost don't even need that much interesting things happening inside of the painting. As long as you're able to get like that pinpoint of realistic lighting, you're able to solve the whole thing. Okay, so a rundown on composition. You can use light like that. However, composition is really what, like I said, the placement of it and how well you do it is the matter of fact that is going to save your work. So, composition. Rundown of what it is. Placement of objects on your page. So important. So you can start off, you can just have a centerpiece, and actually the frame that I've set up here for my little video, I have me in the middle, light going that way, light in front of me, light about diagonally to me, and a bit of a red light colored over that way. Basically all the lighting in the room, however, the headlight has been turned off. So you're getting this in the center of me is being hit by all of these things, which gives you an interesting angle of me. So then you have wall in the back, right? You have a darker dresser over here. And funny thing about that is that I still am getting a light over here, but it's weaker than the light over there. So I'm getting a highlight right here, and the darker area back over there that isn't getting enough light is contrasting between those two areas, which means that that lamp over there, where I have my whole setup, is where your eye goes. You really should start tracking where your eye goes on the page. That's what will really change the composition. That's basically what you do for composition. Figure out how to change the eye and how to take the different forms that are around the page to track who and what you're going to be looking at inside of your reference and your painting. Alright, without any more time being wasted, let's show the painting. Remember, I don't actually like it that much. It doesn't hit the spot, but we'll get onto it. That's like literally the end. I don't know. There you go. I got a stack of subscribers, 64. It's 66 now, whatever. Well, anyways, thank you to everybody who has watched my videos. 13K is a lot of people. I don't think I realized that. Yeah, there's a lot of you that watched my shorts. I don't know about my long form, but thanks. Thanks for watching, bro.